Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support, any kind of updates and the such. I usually go about on Twitter X. Later today, we'll be able to start off a new series, gaming series, which is Jusan. Already managed to, during the weekend, record all the episodes of this game. Was enjoyable experience. I really did enjoy it, and again, it's worth to put it as a gaming series there. I've been also trying to, let's say, trying to do the reviews on the Steam pages of the games that I played. I will have to go to again to all the games that I played, and they are on my library there on Steam, and write or put a review that reflects my experience with that game there. Um, Other than that, in the meantime, I will put the Planet of Lana gameplay series on the 4K completed gameplay series there, and then we will have later today an active one for Jusan. Basically, yeah, I think that's it for the channel updates. Let's go to the news. Today is Monday, but we got some interesting stuff here. Supposedly, China is going to introduce kind of I don't know what they call a general purpose media interface, so kind of a new standard, or trying to make a case for that, which basically is trying to solve two problems at once. And supposedly this connection can deliver 192 gigabytes per second of bandwidth and around 480 watts of power through a single USB cable. What is interesting here is the fact that they are using USB-C and also USB. Um, Again, I'm not very familiar with the US Type B, but I probably already seen it somewhere somehow. I think this gives a better output in terms of wattage and bandwidth than USB-C. Again, more connections. I think they can use the cables to deliver extra power and extra bandwidth. And the main thing here is interesting, the fact that we already have DisplayPort 2.1, the ultra high bandwidth I don't remember what it is, 20, which can deliver up to 80 gigabytes per second in bandwidth, and only can deliver 240 watts power. And then we got the HDMI 2.1, which can deliver maximum, again, this is the FRL, I don't remember which this means, but it can deliver only 48 gigabytes per second of bandwidth and no power delivery whatsoever. This is compatible with basically as a standard of USB4, which can serves as also display when you usually connect laptops to screens, and it can serve as a multi-purpose kind of a thing, which is good to see that at least they are trying to figure out a way of going about and try to solve at least two issues, and basically the more things that you can deliver through a cable without any kind of constraints, it's good in my view. And the fact that you be able to have less cables going around when you want to connect any kind of, I don't know, um, something to a monitor, or and also to deliver power and also data transmission, which is always good. And again, it's a multi-purpose cable. Interestingly enough, I don't know. Again, given it has power delivery and the video signal, we got the issue with the display ports and some HDMI cables, that there is some limitations on the length of the cables themselves to support certain um, certain oh my god, I completely forgot the word that I want to say. Certain aspects of what the cable should do. For example, the DisplayPort 2.1, these new cables that they have, I think it's the UHBR20, for them to deliver the full 80 gigabytes or even power delivery. Again, they need to have like a shorter length because of the hardware limitations of those cables and what they can do there, because of signal loss and all that jazz. Hopefully, we can see here. I didn't see any kinds of cable length that they be able to do, but given that usually USB connections, you can have bigger lengths of cables and do the same kind of connections. It usually doesn't lose any kind of the capabilities of those cables. At least that's my perception. It will be interesting to see if you can also with external GPUs, given that it has some power delivery. And in fact, I think, if not mistaken, the USB Type B is kind of the same kind of connection that usually you connect power external GPUs to deliver power. And also has some capabilities of delivering some video signal and all that jazz. It's going to be interesting to see what what they are going to come up with this. Again, there are a lot of Chinese companies that are trying to get around and find this implementation of this standard. Some of them, like TCL, which are and I sense that they are from the like good TVs or smart TVs that are relatively cheap and deliver a good price to performance, let's say, and also Huawei, which is a huge big tech company in the Chinese company there. And again, we got a board of a lot of these companies. Got also interesting Sharp here. I recognize this brand here, but yeah. Tencent also again. There is a lot of interest, it seems, on at least trying to arrange a solution when you can do the most things possible through a single cable. Yeah, it's interesting to see. Let's see how this goes. If it has to come from China or from United States or from Europe, European country, or even South, what we call the global South country, if they can come up with something similar like this, or introduce some, I don't know, input on how to improve this by the end, I think this is always good for us. Again, trying to have less cables, and those cables are managed to do a lot more things that with less cables, I think it's always a good thing there. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I will try to keep my tabs on these situations here. Then we got from AMD something interesting. Again, this is not for everybody, but it seems that RX 9070 non-XT cards, some of them, some models, again, this is not for all models, they can get their BIOS flashed with the XT variant BIOS, which is something interesting. And there is supposedly some extra gains, some testing that some mothers did between 15 to 20%. Again, this is synthetic benchmarks. I don't know about gaming. But there are some cons regarding this kind of situation, which is usually stability from the GPU itself, because again, the BIOS itself has different parameters, like power delivery and clock frequencies and all that jazz. And it's you need to tweak around a little bit after installing some, if you manage to install a BIOS, because again, usually manufacturers, especially like the reference manufacturers like AMD or NVIDIA, they usually now on this day and age usually lock pretty tightly the fact that you can manage or not flashing the BIOS. But again, it's supposedly there are some things that in some models they are not that locked up, because again, from AIBs usually they have their own tweaks because of the overclock capabilities. They do their own tweaks, and again, in terms of locking the BIOS itself of being flashed or not, some of them don't seem to be that secure. Supposedly this is an ASUS one. There are some recommendations if you want to go around and screw around with this. Basically, again, it has to do mainly with the BIOS that you want to flash to. Again, usually it's more about the power delivery things, so you don't fry the board there. But yeah, something interesting to check. And even in some cases, it seems the 9070 non-XT can outperform in certain scenarios, it seems, from the reference values of a 9070 XT. Again, it all depends of which model it is. But yeah, something interesting to see. It's always good to see this kind of things that people can manage to trick around and experiment. Again, I don't recommend this because again, high level of proficiency on doing this kind of modding, especially on BIOS levels. You can just break the GPU if something goes wrong, and then you cannot do an RMA process because you're tinkering with stuff that it's out of guarantee. But yeah, interesting stuff to out of curiosity to see how these things really do perform. Then we got another 5090 cable melting situation. This specific case, the user reports that again everything is from reference. The GPU is a MSI Gaming Trio RTX 5090, so I think this is the lower end of the overclockable 5090s, if not mistaken. And the PSU is a Corsair SF 1000L. Again, I don't know this PSU per se, but it's compatible and with ATX 3.1. And it brings natively the new version of the cables, which is a 12 volt 2x6 cable, and it melted. Again, I don't understand on MSRP $2,000 cards not having like a power balance module or any kind of, I don't know, fail safe in that sense for extra security on a high that expensive card to have some kind of fail safe regarding these situations. In terms of 5090, in terms of what we've been seeing, it's like there is only like a handful of those. I think to a certain extent it's a little bit having luck of not something happening like this. Again, it's one of those things. Again, this 12 volt power pin situation, since especially I think the best adoption of this standard was the 3090 Ti. I think it was the last one that they had a power balance system, so it doesn't so it maintains always a balance of amperage or the power delivery between all the cables that deliver the power to the GPU. And I think that it was a mistake from NVIDIA thinking, or NVIDIA or somebody from the consortium. They just fixed the physical cable, supposedly fixed, let's say, and basically they just skipped the fact that to put like a power balance solution in the GPU itself. But yeah, in this case, the PSU was also affected, and the cables are swollen like hell because of the temperatures. Again, this is not good. I don't know how this could have end up if the user didn't turn off. I don't know what really happened there. But yeah, this is going to be a very tricky RMA situation because the PSU, both the PSU and GPU are completely screwed. They have to be new ones. There is no solution here except for that. But yeah, another case, and we will continue to see more of this. But yeah, it's unfortunate this happened. Then we got some kind of good news, which it's regarding NVIDIA PhysX. They are the SDK. It's now fully open source. It was kind of partial open source, but now it's fully open source, which supposedly will allow the fact that some modding can be done to fix the problems that we've been seeing, especially from the 5000 series that cannot support PhysX 32-bit. We saw at least a couple of cases of people pairing a 50 series with, for example, an RTX 3050 just dedicated to PhysX to play older games that have this this version of PhysX. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some good news regarding people just tinkering with that SDK, so people can install and basically play older games at their full potential with the newer 50 series there, even though the 50 series by themselves are not the best value out of that. And then lastly, we got AI limit. This is a review. I completely missed this one. was I have this on my watch list, but I completely missed the release of this game. I just want to bring out the review of this game from Fextralife. They usually do pretty uh, what can I say? They are the less unbiased in terms of reviews. They are not. They try to review the game as it is, as best as they can, and I usually trust their reviews regarding games. It seems to be a competent game in what it tries to do, which is kind of the Soul Likes kind of a thing, with a little bit of inspiration from Code Vein, a game from 2019, if not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it seems a very competent game. This is one of those games that came from the China Euro project from PlayStation or Sony. And yeah, it's on PC. It's a good game. Again, story and setting around a 7 out of 10. Gameplay it seems to be the biggest part here, and the fact that the price point is pretty good. I think it's $40 or something like that. I completely missed in on there is on the beginning here. Sorry, no, yeah, around $35 the deluxe edition. So it's on the cheaper side of things, which is good to see that at least is competent on the gameplay side of things. And again, the replayability and the design, visually now are the weakest part there. But yeah, it seems to be a nice game. So if you want to try it out, again, I will when it's on a deal, I will try to highlight it because it seems that if it is on a deal, it kind of almost a must buy to a certain extent. If you like kind of the Souls like kind of a games there. But yeah, with that said, I'm just going to wrap up with some gaming deals. We got Devil May Cry 5. It's made a return. Again, it's on sale, 75% off. It's on the charts of SteamDB. I think this is the better ones from Devil May Cry. I remember playing the first and second game, I think, a long time ago, still on consoles. I don't remember if it was a PS2 game, if not mistaken, when it came out, the first Devil May Cry. Again, I did enjoy at the time, but I eventually never played those games. I didn't follow up too much on the franchise itself. But this one seems to be what we can call a return to form of what Devil May Cry is supposed to be. But yeah, 75% off. And then we got another versions here and there with a lot of stuff there. Then we got Far Launch Sales. Again, I think this game is a pretty good one. I will have to play the demo there. I remember seeing this game when it came out. It's from 2018. It's kind of an indie game. It's kind of post-apocalyptic survival resource management kind of a game there. Very interesting, very interesting art style also. But yeah, 90% off, so like a buck and a half, give or take. So it's very cheap, and it seems to be an excellent game. At least the sentiment is overwhelmingly positive from the Steam community there. Then you got Midnight Suns again, 85% off. Step of approval from me. I did a gaming series on this one. If you want to check what this game is all about, I did first couple episodes. It gives you a pretty good idea what this game is about. Then you got Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, all 85% off, still on sale. Again, very positive feedback from everybody. I think this is a pretty good one also. Then you got Batman Arkham Collection, still on sale. Again, I do recommend this. I played the first two. Again, Arkham Knight, now it's playable. When it launched on the PC port, it was a disgrace. But now it's pretty good, 85% off, so got stamp of approval there. The same thing can be said to Bioshock, the collection, 85% off. Again, free games. The first two are the remastered versions. Then we got Bioshock Infinite plus all of the DLC associated with them. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, 75% off. Again, it's one of the better Rockstar games, ever. Then we got Atomic Heart, 67% off in all editions. There is a demo if you want to try it out. I played the demo and I published the video there of that gameplay demo. If you want to check out, see how it feels, you can also play it by yourself. Then you got the Outer Worlds. Again, this is the better games from Obsidian. The version that usually is recommended is the non-mandatory corporate bundle because the Spacer Choice Edition upgrade, I think, is still a little bit finicky. on the visual side of things. It hits a lot of on the performance side of your hardware. And then lastly, we got Pacific Drive. Again, one of those little games that, again, kind of a roguelike with some survival mechanics and exploring, driving, all those good things that you find in this game. And it's a very small studio that did manage. And again, very positive feedback from everybody, 40% off. And yeah, I'll wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. This extra support at this moment in time is for me to try and get around and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for this channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.